if we still have these actions in our wars, this means that the states are not following the use against, and this is something that the whole international community shall be against, but they are not, unfortunately.
So now, Masa, we go to the legal implications. How does the ICC operate, and how did the ICC came about this case between Israel and Palestine, and how did the prosecutor started or initiated an investigation, and ultimately what led to the issuance of the warrants of arrests?
First of all, it shall be noted that the International Criminal Court get involved since 2015, when the Palestine decided to be a state party to Rome Statute. Since then, the Palestine is a state party. But after that, when the conflict that we talked about just took place in the Gaza, so many countries which were the state parties to Rome Statute referred and just dragged the attention of the prosecutor to the situation that we had in Gaza. So the International Criminal Court decided to start an investigation in this territory. And the jurisdiction, of course, exercised in this territory is both based on territorial and personal jurisdiction, because first of all, Gaza is a state party to Rome Statute, so the court would be able to exercise its jurisdiction over the territory of Palestine, regardless of the nationalities of the perpetrators, any crimes committed inside the territory. And when it comes about the personal jurisdiction, since that we talked about was a national of Palestine, then based on the personal jurisdiction, the court may exercise jurisdiction over him.
What do you respond to people saying or arguing that Israel is not a member of the ICC? Well, how do we respond to those type of claims?
Based on the jurisdiction that's actually enlisted under Article 12 of the Rome Statute, the ICC may exercise its jurisdiction over territory regardless of the nationalities of the perpetrator, because the perpetrator conducted those crimes enlisted in Article 5 in the territory of Gaza, then the court has the jurisdiction. And that one of the challenges that actually Israel made to the court said that I'm not
Yes.
in a state party, then you're not allowed to investigate my situation. And the court responded that it's based on the territorial jurisdiction, that from now on, since 2015, I'm able to exercise my jurisdiction over the occupied Palestine, Gaza, and the territory of Palestine.
Now, the problem that we are facing right now is how do we enforce these ICC warrants of arrest? Can we arrest Netanyahu? Can we arrest Gallant? If so, how?
First of all, not making confusion about these definitions. We when we issue a warrant arrest, it's not mean that they are now a perpetrator. They're 100% would be just in jail or etc. They are about to be brought to a fair trial, which is established by the court. So they would be able to respond to the question that is actually asked by the court. So if they are a perpetrator, if they are just committing the crimes, if they are 100% responsible, it's something that we have in the trial, not the pre-trial chamber. For now, the evidentiary standard says if there is a reasonable basis that the actually perpetrator conducts such crimes, then we are about to bring the perpetrator to the court so it can respond to our questions, and then the trial will decide that if the perpetrator needed to take any punishment or not. So this is the first definition that shall be really making no confusion about the warrant arrest that we have inside our own
Yes, yes.
territory. It shall not be confused. And you actually mentioned about the challenges that we are facing for executing the warrants. That's completely a great question. Since the Omar al-Bashir case, the question was just arising and getting bigger, and one of the most important concerns. And after that, when we faced with Russia case, when the Ukraine,
Yes.
the Vladimir Putin, of course, committed the crimes, the war crimes, the crimes against humanity, and the warrant arrest was issued, and he traveled to so many state parties, not
I
saying
think it
so many
was
state parties,
Mongolia.
Exactly.
Mongolia.
And one of the things that actually the Mongolia refer to is that because he's a diplomatic travel and he must be under protection of immunity, then the diplomatic immunity, then he cannot be arrested, he cannot be prosecuted. And then the courts decided that based on Article 27 of the Rome Statute, the arrest warrants and any decision actually took by the court shall be a priority to any other things. So the immunity is in the second level. The first, the warrants of the court shall be under consideration, and that the challenges, the statements of the Mongolia was not accepted by the court. It got 100% rejected, and then the court decided to refer this situation, this lack of cooperation of Mongolia to the state parties, so a decision can be taken. And actually, in some cases, this lack of cooperation can be referred to the Security Council. But I guess that in this case, when Russia is involved, it's not a key because it's a permanent member. So having a veto is always in hand. After that, these challenges after Omar al-Bashir case, after the Vladimir Putin case, actually executing these warrants is one of the greatest concerns. We seriously doubt that even Netanyahu, Gallant, or they can be brought to the court. Can we establish a trial for them or not? It's still in doubt, but we should be hopeful because so many countries, I guess.
I think France, Netherlands will cooperate.
Yeah. But actually, we could not expect any support from United States because since the establishment of the International Criminal Court, it was one of the greatest enemy,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Now that's interesting because despite the issuance of these warrants, the people of Gaza still cannot be assured or still cannot be guaranteed of a immediate justice towards the violence or towards the cruelty that have been imposed against them. So what will be the political consequences of this? So if there will be cooperation from the states and assuming that Netanyahu and Gallant will be apprehended and taken to trial in The Hague, which is, of course, was clarified by you earlier that taking these individuals into the court does not necessarily mean the imposition of punishment. Now, what if these cooperation does not materialize? What will be the reaction of the international community? And if some states will cooperate, what could that mean to the Middle Eastern situation?
First of all, I should take this under consideration that it's not only about Netanyahu and Gallant. I was just thinking that even if the Daib was alive, would Palestine be able to arrest him and send him to the International Criminal Court, The Hague, so he can be prosecuted? I seriously doubt. Even I guess the Palestine would not cooperate in a way that it must. But about the political consequences, first of all, let's just have this statement from United States when it noted that I just established sanctions against any states that actually cooperate with the International Criminal Court warrants. But I guess that even if Netanyahu and Gallant would be arrested in a just hopeful position, we cannot expect any points leading toward a peace settlement. So this is the thing that I could conclude from all these conflicts.
We go way back from the British occupation, the Balfour Declaration, until now. It's a long story. If ever Netanyahu and Gallant will be apprehended, I cannot also picture a settlement which will benefit the people of Gaza. I think there will still be violence that will be occurring, and whoever would substitute the defense minister or as a prime minister, I think would still be compelled again to continue the bombardment. They are already trying to partition some of the lands that have been bombarded in Gaza right now. And at any time in the immediate future, they will be occupying these lands. Now, while it is true that we want Netanyahu and Gallant to face justice, it is also true that people are still dying every day, and the starvation goes on every day. What we should take away from this is that there should be an action towards the stoppage of attacks, the stoppage of death, the stoppage of starvation.
We have the principle that the war is forbidden. We cannot guarantee this principle right now, but we have also the right to war, to distinct the civilians from the combatants, to not attack non-military objects. They are facing with breach of just these principles that is one of the most and rooted principles in the international law. And I guess that the international community, besides of trying to stop the conflict as a whole, shall be under a great concern to stop this breach of principles in the Gaza. So at least the civilians can be guaranteed that they won't be hurt anymore. That's the thing that I think international community must do at current time. Not just concentrating on the matter that, okay, the conflict will be over or not. It's not something that we can decide. I just told it's a 70-year-old war. But now that we have so many mechanisms that can stop these
Yes,
atrocities, these casualties, we can use it. We should use it. It's an obligation, I guess.
let's treat this as a small victory. It's still far from the solution needed in Gaza, but at least there is a small victory that is the issuance of these warrants of arrest. How can such small step lead to the liberation of the people in Gaza?
First of all, I have to just mention that after the United Nations getting paralyzed by over and over veto of the United States,
Correct.
it's something really considerable. It's something to be appreciated by International Criminal Court. I guess it's something that exactly reaffirmed that it's an independent organization and something that is something to be appreciated. And just for the liberty of the individuals that we have in Gaza, I do believe that more states shall join International Criminal Court. As United Nations, we just know the history. When the international community realized that there is a mechanism needed for the world to be stopped from war, they all joined United Nations. So now the international community realized that the United Nations actually is getting paralyzed. Then maybe the solution is that more countries be a state party to Rome Statute. Unfortunately, me myself, I'm from a country that it's not a state party to Rome Statute. But as a legal person inside the territory, I would try my best to make my country join the Rome Statute. So maybe we can make the perpetrators responsible to a fair trial, to a court, finally, after so many years.
That was beautiful. I mean, I also hope that more states would join. I think that would create a fear to future state leaders that there is no impunity for dictators. And at this day and age, we have evolved and we have already formulated as a nation and as a group of nations some mechanisms such as the ICC. Now, I want to thank you, Mahsa, for sharing light to our audience and to me as well. I've learned a lot from our discussion.
It was my pleasure, and thank you for your invitation. I just really enjoyed this discussion. I've learned a lot and made research a little more deep inside these matters, and just that was great. And I really hope that all the people, all the individuals have these concerns in their minds. Greater society, a more concerned society about the peace in every piece of world. I mentioned, thank you. I really appreciate your just trying to make the people informed about the things that we have international law. Hope that the other guests actually can share their discussions. I follow you. I have you on my mind. So I really hope forward to hear more from you. Thank you a lot.